Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for this opportunity. This presentation is based on an experience of one rapid participatory monitoring appraisal, which we did between the first wave and second wave in one of the villages in Tamil Nadu. So I thought I'll share this thing. This has around 14, 15 slides, but the idea here is to give an experience of that. So I will not go into details on each of the slide. And only at the end of the slide, I will reflect on some of the experiences which we have. Thank you very much. So this is this is a very common thing called in Tamil, what is Nalu per enna solvanga, means oh char log kya kahenge, four people, what will the four people say? It is about reflection of the power of the society over the program. And we wanted to assess that part of it. And the village is, I have changed the name of the village. It's a Gopalapuram village, and largely around 450 families, and with 150 families belonging to a couple of dominant castes. There are 60 Dalit families, and there are also sex workers in that village. And the program is largely about organic farming and introducing, because the government schemes on organic farming have not been utilized by the people. So the program was like more about farming farmers group, training them on organic farming. And year 3, we saw that women farmers group got formed. And year 4, we saw the program entering into the Dalit colony and forming Dalit farmers group. And then year 5, we saw a lot of training on gender and sexuality rights and entitlements to all groups. So while we were this participatory rural monitoring appraisal has a set of process, which is the first set is about reflection, which is about what change the programs brought to the beneficiaries. Then the second set of reflection happens about the changes which happened in beneficiaries, how it has influenced the wider change in the society. And the third one is key inferences, key insights about the program, what it needs to focus, and who owns the program. And the participants in this appraisal was initially just about program team, volunteers and beneficiaries. Then we went beyond community members, beyond beneficiaries. And then the program team volunteers, again, we came back and did a reflection with them. So we use a lot of participatory methods, which is card sorting is an important tool where we just map the beneficiaries, just gives the, if I can put it like an MIS put in cards. So where we measure number of groups, number of members, and how many leaders formed, how many farmers were introduced into organic cultivation, women participation, Dalit participation. In that way, the group made a list of all the achievements which they had. And then we also did a kind of a rough assessment of the same in terms of community mobilization. So you can see that the group actually reflected as strong in terms of community mobilization, farmers being introduced into organic cultivation, Dalit participation, and women getting into high savings, economically empowerment, and mobilizing the government support. Then we did what is called as River of Life, which we generally do for all the programs, which many of you must have also been done. Then we saw that year 1, 2, it was largely for male farmer group and only dominant caste. Then year 3, we saw the women farmers getting into the program, saw that deficit. So they moved into women's group. And then year 4 and 5, we saw that Dalit farmers groups are getting formed. So literally the reflection was that program is dynamic and is becoming inclusive step by step, and it is responding to the reflection exercise. So learning program in that sense. Then we started the reflection B, that is we went to the community members and started talking to some of them. And the key domains which we selected was agriculture, gender, and caste. And in each of these, what we try to do is we first ask the group actually to list all the problems which they generally present in these domains. And then we ask whether these problems still exist. And then we ask them whether the problem was supposed to be addressed by the program or not. So if you see the issues of farmers, which came in, is about challenges in leveraging government schemes for farmers, farm inputs and markets are controlled by the industry and large farmers, landlessness among Dalits, indebtedness among farmers, agri-land shifting for industrial purpose, and youth moving away from agriculture. These are some of the important issues with the farmers listed. And what we found was all of these problems still exist. And probably only the leveraging the government schemes for farmers have challenges have decreased. So that is one big spot where we succeeded. And most of the other places is largely status quo. And then we moved into the gender issues. Again, gender issues, early marriage, wage disparity among women, dowry system, no property right for women, ritual inferiority of women, lack of mobility of women. These are some of the issues which they came out with. Again, we asked that whether these problems exist or anything. We saw that most of the problems are continuing to exist. And only, in fact, early marriage, because of the COVID, etc., it has actually increased in the last few months. So that is something I would say. Then we again asked them to list something on the caste issues. So similarly, caste issues are landlessness among Dalit, narratives about when non-Dalits participating in Dalit weddings or into Dalit colonies, there is any discrimination, honor killing incidents, disallowing funeral on common funeral areas, separate funeral sites, or disallowing in festival ceremonies. So we can see that the problems actually still exist, and most of them are status quo. And because of the COVID, some of these caste issues came out in a much more prominently. Then literally we did a collation of these things, and what we tried to find out is the program has actually supporting changes among beneficiaries. It is at the level of good, whereas the changes in beneficiaries influencing the change among societies was almost negligible. So this raised the question that we are able to contribute to the lives of many people, farmers in it, but overall social structures, social things are not necessarily keeping pace with that particular change. So then we asked, what is the key participation question here is about to understand that when there was no pressure on the program on farming neither included the women nor included the Dalit farmers, despite the fact that the women farmers contribute quite a lot in agriculture and agricultural laborers largely coming from the Dalits. So you would see that when there is no pressure, the program is largely focusing on the dominant caste. And even when women were included, largely Dalit women, none from the sex workers community. So why? So that begs us to ask the question, to whom this program belongs to? This is the question which is about the participation part of it. So then we tried to map, there is a large participation of community which was taking place in the decisions making of because these groups were quite vocal and they were able to do a lot of things. They were able to do a lot of research, etc. And in fact, collect exercise, and they submit to the government and access the schemes. So in that way, we found that it is moving into the beneficiary-led thing, and issues which are getting prioritized is about the beneficiaries. But then we thought that we should ask the question about why program decided to have caste-based or gender-based groups. Why there are less of a mixed group? Why not encourage sex workers and women to form a common group? Why not encourage the dominant caste and Dalit forms to form a common group? And I would see we see a large kind of responses were coming into the category. One is a category of conservative, who says the program should work within the local system. Don't really try to disturb it. Then there are rational people who say that the organic farming is largely about the landed farmers who are about dominant caste. So that if you need to achieve the program objectives, you have to focus on the rationally. That is the right thing. Moderate is about you should go slow. Don't be very radical. Go very slow, train them, sensitize them, and then move into the thing. Or even liberal will talk about what about if we focus only on Dalits, what about the children of the dominant caste, what about the women of dominant caste? So we have to ensure that everyone gets benefit. And what we found is all these four voices looks very, very good, very reasonable, but none of them actually challenge patriarchy or casteism. I would say that when we define community participation, we have to define marginalization first and find out what is the power relationship within the society. Often community participation may reinforce the patriarchy and the caste system. So you have to be very clear of it. And as evaluators, should be not introspect. If we have the characteristics of these four people, which we talked about, if we have, we should not refrain from calling ourselves as Brahmin or Patrick. Thank you.